Three, two, go.
We are at the interview. Sorry, what? I saw your hands.
No,
Is
no,
that-
no.
Okay. We are at the executive interview segment of Financially Focused, and with us is Howard Mitchell, chairman of Corpac Limited, a manufacturer of boxes to the industrial industry in Jamaica. And Mr. Mitchell is going to take us through an understanding of the manufacturing industry and how, although the reports are that it's dead, it may not actually be so. Mr. Mitchell, I will say good morning, sir.
Hi.
Mr. Mitchell, welcome.
Thank you.
All right, great. So the question,
You want to stand up closer?
not yet. So the question is manufacturing in Jamaica dead?
No, manufacturing is not dead.
Okay, and yes.
Manufacturing is not dead. It's in critical condition, but there are signs of life.
All right, and no, don't take it off of me. And why is it in critical condition and what are the signs?
All right, I have to give you a little bit of history. In the early 80s, Trinidad and Jamaica were in the same types of relationships as they are now in terms of CARICOM. However, there was a trade deficit in favor of Jamaica with Trinidad, which is the exact opposite of what happens now. We used to export more goods to Trinidad than Trinidad exported to us. Trinidad made some very tough decisions to incentivize the manufacturing sector, give them breaks with industrial zones, cheap loans, and encouraged the development of their manufacturing sector. And granted, they have cheap energy. And as a consequence of that, while at the same time, Jamaica was shifting from manufacturing to a service-oriented economy, manufacturing in Jamaica died. The effect of devaluation, deregulation hit us hard. People stopped retooling, people stopped investing in their factories, and as a consequence, the sector became very, very ill. Right? What we are now trying to do is to replace the loss of income from the closure of the alumina industry, of players in the alumina industry, and to try and increase our productive base. And it will take time because our equipment is old, our manufacturing ethic and our manufacturing experience has been lost. Many engineers have moved away. The engineers that are being trained now, there is no work immersion, very small work immersion program at UTEC. So you don't have experienced industrial engineers, experienced mechanical engineers coming into the system, and it's taking us time to come up the curve. The rest of the world has not been waiting on us. Manufacturing has become highly technical and highly capital intensive in the meantime.
All right, can you pull, or go down on the teleprompter, Shannon? Oh, all right, great. Go down, 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 down. All right, stop. All right, wide, please. Thank you. Okay.
Three, two, go.
Right, so the next question is, why was the Jamaica Stock Exchange, the junior market, dominated by manufacturing stocks over the 2010 to 2013 period?
Couple of reasons.
Stop.
Oh.
Okay, and remember to get his hands, because he speaks a lot with his hands, so when you zoom
Sorry,
in.
I won't do that.
No, it's okay.
I'll put them in my pocket.
All right, okay. All right, ready?
Ready? A number of reasons. One, manufacturing is a capital intensive business. Equity capital is cheaper and more flexible than bank or loan capital. So that clearly, if you can raise capital through equity, and the junior stock exchange is an excellent vehicle for that, then you would prefer to do that. The other aspect of it, once you structure your business right and your governance principles are in place, the other aspect of it is that you do get a tax incentive from the Jamaica Stock Exchange. And I personally regret that it appears as if the plan is to wind down this tax incentive, because I think it is a very good attractant for firms, small firms, to come into the sector and to get an incubation period when they do not have to face the burden of paying taxes on their income. So that one, cheaper money, 2, the tax incentive, and 3, there is in fact an increasing awareness of the possibilities and the potential of manufacturing to A, provide export earnings in foreign exchange, right, and B, to create social good in terms of employment and in terms of lifting the standard of your human capital.
All right. Can you take the question? Okay. All right. Right. And the teleprompter, can you bring? Right. Okay. All right. Go, 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 go. Up, 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 up. All right. So, okay. All right. All right. Ready? Tell me when.
3, 2, go.
All right. So Corpac makes boxes and can be seen as a barometer of demand. That is, the more boxes are needed by other manufacturers or distributors, there's some growth in the economy. So what is your view of what is happening in the overall economy just by the sale of your boxes?
Okay, you're quite correct. Packaging
Stop.
is a...
Yes, yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
You're correct.
No, not yet.
Oh, not yet?
Go.
You're correct. Packaging is an important barometer for the economy, particularly for the distributive sector. Let me just again give you a little history. 6 or 7 years ago, when there were less players in the packaging manufacturing industry, the market was dominated by imported goods. I'm happy to report that over the last 6 years, we have moved the percentage controlled by local manufacturing for packaging, for corrugated cardboard cartons, from about 18% to about 56%. That is to say that we produce from scratch about 56% of our demand from the local market. However, when you ask what is happening with the economy and whether packaging, we can predict how the economy is doing, what you have to understand is that while there is an increased demand for some export packaging, there is also a die-off of demand because of reduction of consumption factors, because the fact that people don't have the ready cash, the disposable income, because of the tightness of the economy. So it's hard to measure whether the economy is increasing in terms of local demand as opposed to increasing, there is increased export earnings. What we can tell you is that there is a local market to support the sector, but that local market in terms of local distribution of goods is shrinking. I can't tell you to what extent, but there is a little bit of a fall off. It's compensated by an increase in export demand. What we have to fight against with the devaluation, with the higher costs of energy that is hitting us as local producers, is imports. So we have it very hard to compete against Damrep, which has $2 a day cheap Haitian labor in very difficult circumstances, which has energy, gets energy in about 20 cents per kilowatt hour, when we are paying $20 and $25, this is US, per day, and paying 48 cents per kilowatt hour. Our challenge now in manufacturing, certainly in the packaging industry, is to compete with imports.
All right. Can you bring the question up? Oh. All right. That's no. You gone too far? Yes. Go back up a little. All right. Stop. Okay. All right. Wide. Yes. And this is the last question. All right.
No problem.
Okay. All right. Ready?
4. All right. 3, 2, go.
All right, so Howard, what advice do you have for startup and small manufacturers in regards to sustaining your business for the long term in your industry?
You ready for that?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
I'm getting used to it now.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
First of all, make sure that whatever you are manufacturing, you understand your market before you start your business. Know the limits of your market, know what your market wants, know what you can produce for your market. In other words, align your product with demand. Okay? And the other aspect of it is ensure that your governance principles, your structure of operating is efficient. Too many of us do not have proper accounting practices. Too many of us do not keep proper records. Manufacturing is about efficient process flow. In order to arrive at that efficient process flow, you must gather your data, evaluate your data, learn from your mistakes, and apply the remedies. Those are, before you even start, that's the kind of homework that you have to do, and make sure that you have the proper advice and the proper expertise to help you do it, so that you don't run into problems with the tax authorities, with your accounts, with the company's registrar. All of those things must be in place first.
And then what about the day-to-day operations?
In terms of your day-to-day operations, in Jamaica, every day is a different day. But what you have to do is to try as much as possible to establish structured processes in your manufacturing, because then what that does is insulate you from the challenges that you meet in Jamaica. Once you have your production scheduled properly, you can schedule it around things like transportation issues. You can predict how to use your best energy opportunities, operating at night and taking advantage of the rate 50 that you get from JPS, which is half of the cost. Things like that require thought and sitting down and structuring your operation. There is the Productivity Center. I would advise you to go there and get advice from them and get help from them. They're not expensive. And you should go to the Jamaica Manufacturers Association and discuss your plans about your business with them.
All right. And, it just crossed my mind, why hasn't Corpac listed on the Junior Stock Exchange?
Well, listing for us, there's ups and downs. One, because we put our own money, my partners and I put our own money in, there was no immediate need for further equity. We're not ruling out listing on the stock exchange.